Dimitri in New York. Dimitri, what's up?
Hey, Jason, what's up?
How you doing?
I've been listening to you for the past few months, and Alex. I was fortunate. I grew up in an immigrant family. I was fortunate to be exposed to real economics as a child, and I knew a lot of things. And certainly, a lot of the people in my family and I were expecting this and preparing for this, for the economic aspects of what we're seeing for many years. But it wasn't until the Federal Reserve intervened on the level that it did that I kind of started thinking, well, before I used to think, these people are incompetent because I saw the decisions they would make.
But you could see the heist with the bailout. You could see the trillions of dollars going into the bankers' pockets, and that this was totally illegitimate and that this was planned.
I never imagined the scale of the intervention. And when the real turning point for me happened in December when bond yields moved. They moved. They literally moved. Bonds are the elephants of the financial kingdom. They're not meant to move like rabbits, and they were moving like rabbits. Mm-hmm. And when I saw those yields go all the way down to where they went, I just said, we're the next and final bubble to burst is going to be the American bond market, and we're going to have a humongous currency collapse. And when that happens, the only logical outcome is going to be food rationing and more government intervention. Because when you break down market mechanics, when you break down the distribution models of the market, then you need to get food and energy to people somehow. So then the only way to do that is physically get out there and do it. And it's just, this is one thing I want to say to you. You mentioned when there was a call before, and you said you don't want to just preach to the choir. You want to talk to people who, audiences you don't reach. I've been very fortunate to come from a very well-to-do background, and the thing I find most difficult is reaching people that have grown up in a system where, ironically, system does indoctrinate you, but the truth is that large universities, Ivy League schools and all those different things, they also make you, they also indoctrinate you heavily.
Yeah, they make you pro-establishment. You're part of the team.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there are people that I know that are the most moral, ethical individuals, and they are so clueless and so unwilling to open their minds to different things. And so I would say that one of the things that would be very valuable, and it's difficult, I don't know how to do it, and I try to do it myself in my own different ways, but it's reaching that little thin layer of society that covers the kind of string pullers, the kingmakers, and the large underbelly of society that is perpetually oppressed and is victimized in the greatest sense. Reaching those people is the most important, because those are the people that ultimately execute all the major decisions. And not all of them, in fact, I guess the majority of them are ethical individuals, because they grow up with, these ethical ideas. So I think that, that's very important. I think that, I don't know. But
most yuppies are in denial, man. They're the worst ones. They want to believe that they're actually part of the system because they make hundreds of thousands of dollars or $1 million a year. Right. These people want to think that they're going to be taken care of like pets by the elite. They would never do anything to harm them because the system has worked out so well for them. They can't see the bigger picture that they, did come from privilege, that they were sent to an Ivy League because of their background, that they are willing to go after them and their lifestyle at the very end equation. And that's why I think the movies are so important, because the movies reach across the stratosphere of all economics. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's why the Obama deception is important. Have you gotten them to sit down and watch any of these films?
Well, the thing is, my family I come from an entrepreneurial background, and I think that's the difference. When you come from a background where your parents create, or your family creates things out of nothing and perpetuates that, you have a different kind of sense of independence. The libertarian ideology can appeal to you and can connect with you. And you don't have to fear the system breaking down because you're not, essentially a slave to a corporate system.
Great call, Dimitri. I thank you. We're going to go to Eric, Andrew, Peter, and more. First-time callers tonight, 866-582-9933. I'm the Info Warrior. Go check out the blog, theinfowarrior.com.
Take you away. We better stop. Hey,
we're going to go to Eric, Andrew, Peter, Tyler, and more. But first I want to talk about this movie called Home. It's been launched today on YouTube as the top video. If you go to the little globe next to YouTube, it's over there. It's out in 50 countries around the world. It's out on DVD. It was released in cinemas. And I guess it's taking a look at the entire world as one and the ecological battles that we all face with climate change. So I'm going to have to watch this too amongst Earth 2100 over the weekend. Maybe we'll do a whole show on Monday all about the eco-fraud, and we'll break it down with a little bit of the great global warming swindle as well. I can't believe this is a huge push. When it's available free on YouTube, it's out on DVD today. It's in 50 countries and cinemas. It's all over the television as well. And again, it's all about climate change and how we all have to do our part. We all are going to have to pay an international carbon tax, a world tax for the cashless society control grid puppet masters. All right, let's go to Eric in Ohio. Eric, you're on the line.
Hey, Jason, what's up, man? Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you to you and Alex Jones. You guys really woke me up. Seeing Loose Change and Fabled Enemies, and that really opened my eyes. And just recently got signed on to Prison Planet, or signed up with Prison Planet a few months ago.
Cool. Very cool.
It's a very good deal for it. And I just want to make a comment about the swine flu and the whole vaccination thing. I just want to urge anybody that's out there listening to not take a vaccine, because I mean, I'm in college, and I just had to do a paper about this very thing. And I learned that 36,000 people die annually from regular flu, and you know nobody's raising a big stink about that. I've never gotten a flu shot in my life, and I've never had the flu.
Yeah, those numbers are inflated. But if you believe those numbers, well, this flu seems to kill even less people. And then you start looking at the deaths that they're blaming on. They blamed it on a woman who was chronically ill prior to that and in the hospital who was pregnant. They blamed a death on a 2-year-old child that had chronic illnesses, wasn't even from this country. The third guy, I believe, was a principal out of New York, and he had gout. So they all have some kind of pre-existing condition. So I wonder, you know, how bad this virus really would be even if you had it. You have other experts coming out and saying that it's blown way out of proportion and that it's even milder than the regular flu. So why on God's earth would you want to vaccinate against it?
Exactly, and you know, it just seems like another way for the government to try and you know get something, it's just some kind of foreign drug or something in our
another
system,
mode of control to
poison us further.
Yeah, to see what they can put into our bodies and what we'll accept mentally. All right, let's go to Andrew. Andrew, you're on the line. Yes, sir.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. I'm not getting that shot.
Well, I don't think a lot of us intend to get that shot. I'm just shocked that they're openly now going to declare level 6, even though it's a soft level 6. You read their own documents. You know, that document I read is on the WHO website. Anybody can find it. It's the checklist for pandemic preparedness planning. And they say no individual human rights, quarantining, property seizures, off-site drug use, and compulsory vaccinations. The story is at theinfowarrior.com right now. People should be up in arms that they dare declare pandemic level 6 for a disease or a virus that has barely killed anybody in this country, let alone the world. And the world numbers are saying 125 people across the world have died over this over the past 2 or 3 months. Whoopee! Am I out of line?
You know, I mean, you know, it's obvious they're using bioweapons against us, you know. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if they release it in the air or shoot in your arm, you know, what they're, you know, I mean.
Well, I mean, look at this study coming out of the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota, and they even try to spin it that there needs to be more studies done, and they're not saying that the flu vaccine actually causes the flu, but they're saying if you do take the flu vaccine, you're 3 times as likely to get the flu. Sounds like I don't want to take the vaccination if it's going to make me 3 times more likely to actually get the virus, right? I mean, that's common sense, right? You could tell a 5-year-old that and they'd figure it out, correct?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I'll tell you, I've been, passing out DVDs, waking people up. I mean, I'll just preach to anybody anytime, you know, to drop a hat, you know, but I
need more people like you, sir.
I think the real battlefield is in our local governments, you know.
Well, I agree, and that's why they target Campaign for Liberty, and I thank you for the call in the MIAC report, because these are people who say, you know what, we do want a government formed by the people again. We do want to take over the local legislator. We do want to run for city council. We do want to reject the federal government's tyranny. And that really challenges the status quo. Don't be for the Constitution. Don't be for the Bill of Rights. That's bad. Be for world government and Barack Obama. It's the Info Warrior with Jason Bermas, back after these messages on the Genesis Network, 9 to midnight, 5 nights a week Central Time.